They said the honey dripped like gold from the mountain stones, but what they didn't tell you is it was never meant to be eaten. Deep in a forgotten valley, where winds whisper secrets into the trees and birds echo ancient songs, there once lived a tribe that believed the mountains were alive, breathing, listening, watching. And from those sacred peaks, they believed the gods gifted something rare, mountain honey, but not for taste. It's not for survival. It was a bridge between the human and the divine. Every drop was considered a prayer. The elders would climb barefoot through jagged rocks, hands bleeding, hearts steady, guided only by the chants passed down through generations. When they reached the beehives, they never touched them with greed. The honey was collected with rituals. Slowly, with folded hands, beneath moonlight, they would collect the honey, each jar an offering. They believed if even one drop was taken without reverence, the gods would seal the hive forever. But this is where their ways diverged from ours. For the honey wasn't consumed, it was offered to the dead, to the skies, to the wounds of warriors returning from unseen battles. They would place the honey on the foreheads of infants during birth, believing it carried protection. They would burn it during funerals, mixing it with herbs that released a fragrance said to guide spirits home. It wasn't just a sweetener or a condiment. No, it was a thread in the tapestry of their lives, connecting them to the unseen forces that wove that tapestry. Now, imagine the surprise of modern man. Imagine the look of astonishment when someone stumbled upon this peculiar tribe, these rituals baffling and strange. This is the story of that encounter. The first time our hero saw the mountain, he thought it was weeping. He was a man of science, a seeker of logic, and yet there before him was a torrent of honey cascading down the rough stone, shimmering like molten gold under the sun. He couldn't believe his eyes. Could this be some geological oddity, some trick of light? Or was there something more, something mystical at play here? He decided to investigate, drawn by an inexplicable curiosity. His journey to the peak was arduous, a test of both his body and his beliefs. As he neared the summit, the air grew colder, the wind more biting, yet he pressed on, his determination fueled by a thirst for answers. When he finally reached the source of the honey, he found not a broken rock or a leaking hive, but a sight that seemed almost otherworldly. A group of people, stark naked except for ornaments made of feathers and bones, were engaged in a ritual around a massive honeycomb that nestled in the crook of the mountain like a giant's treasure. These were the mountain people, a tribe rumored to live deep within the mountains. A tribe that spoke a language older than time itself, a language of chants and drums and dances. They had managed to remain hidden from the outside world for so long, living in harmony with nature, untouched by the march of civilization. Our hero, with his scientific mind, struggled to comprehend what he was witnessing. Was this a religious ceremony? Was it a celebration? Or was there some deeper meaning, some connection to the honey that he was yet to uncover? As days turned into weeks, he observed them, studied them, trying to piece together the puzzle of their existence. He learned of their unshakable belief in the sanctity of the mountain, their reverence for the honey that flowed from its heart. He discovered that for them, the honey was more than just a food source. It was a gift from the gods, a conduit to the divine. Each drop, they believed, carried a fragment of the god's essence, and it was their duty to collect it with the utmost respect and offer it back to the heavens. The honey was used in every aspect of their lives, from healing the sick to protecting the newborn to guiding the souls of the dead. It was the thread that wove together the fabric of their existence. Yet, despite his fascination, a part of him remained skeptical, questioned the authenticity of their beliefs, the validity of their rituals. After all, how could honey flow from rocks? How could a tribe live in such isolation without leaving any trace? One evening, as he sat by the fire, watching the tribal elder collect honey from the mountain, he gathered his courage and approached the man. He asked questions about their way of life, about their connection to the mountain, about the honey and its significance. The elder, with his weathered face and eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom, answered patiently. He spoke of the mountain as a living being, as a source of their sustenance and their culture, explained how the honey was not just a food, but a sacred offering. As he listened, our hero felt a shift within him, a subtle change in perspective. Maybe he had come here seeking answers, but perhaps the truth lay in the journey, in the very questions that he asked. He spent many more days with the mountain people, learning their customs, participating in their rituals, tasting their honey. And with each passing day, he felt himself becoming less skeptical, more open to the possibilities that the world offered. He realized that his scientific mind, his need for logic and reason, had blinded him to the beauty of the unknown, the magic of the unexplored. He had come to understand that the world was not just what he could see, touch, or measure, but also what he could feel, experience, and believe. Finally, the day came when he had to leave. He'd come to accept the mystery of the honey, the wonder of the mountain people's existence. He left with a heavy heart, knowing that he was taking a part of the mountain with him, a part that would forever change his perspective on life. Before he departed, the tribal elder gifted him a small pot of honey. It wasn't just any honey. It was a special blend, one that was reserved for important ceremonies, a honey that carried the essence of the mountain itself. As he sipped the honey, its unique flavor danced on his tongue. It wasn't sweet like regular honey. It had a distinct, almost earthy flavor, a taste that seemed to resonate with the ancient rhythm of the world. From that day on, whenever he tasted honey, he was reminded of his journey of the mountain people and their extraordinary ways. He carried their story with him, hoping to share it with the world, to make others understand that not all mysteries need to be solved, that some wonders are best left unexplained. The world can be a cold and lonely place sometimes, we get it. That's why we create stories that warm your heart and remind you that even in the darkest times, there's always a flicker of hope waiting for you. Stories like this one, about a humble honey that wove magic into the lives of an ancient tribe. A honey that whispered tales of gods and rituals and the unseen forces that shape our world. But we're not just storytellers. We're travelers too. We roam the digital wilderness, always on the lookout for stories that deserve to be heard, myths that need to be kept alive, legends that have been forgotten. And then we bring these stories to you, our fellow travelers, because we believe that stories have the power to connect us, to remind us that we're not as different as we seem. In this age of technology, when it's easy to get lost in the digital wilderness, we strive to be your compass. We guide you to stories that matter, that stay with you long after you've heard them. So join us on this journey. Subscribe now and let the stories unfold. Because remember, some things aren't meant to be understood, they're meant to be experienced. Like the honey from the mountains, some things are not meant to be consumed, but to be cherished. In the same way that the mountain people cherished their connection to the divine, to their rituals and to each other, we hope you cherish our stories, the stories we tell on the forgotten path. We may not have all the answers, but we believe in asking the right questions, questions that lead us to the heart of what it means to be human, to connect with the world around us, and to find beauty in the unknown. Thank you for walking this path with us. Let the stories guide you, and let the honey from the mountains remind you that some things are best savored slowly, deeply, and with reverence. And if you like this story, don't forget to leave us a like. It helps us keep going. Now go take a walk in the woods and listen to the trees. You never know what secrets they might share.